And our line is very, very similar to y'all's, that NATO instigated this situation. Right now in the United States, the focus is on Russia. The focus is on demonizing Putin as an individual and making what's happening a consequence of his mental state, which is wild to me. But if you actually study the history of this conflict, and it does begin with the fall of the USSR and promises made by NATO powers to Russia that NATO would not expand eastward to Russia's borders. They agreed to do that. And then after President Bill Clinton was elected, the Democratic Party and the Republicans worked in lockstep to systematically expand NATO, breaking that promise. In 2008, as a matter of fact, the US ambassador to Russia, his name is William Burns, he's currently head of the CIA under Biden, sent a diplomatic cable to the US National Security Council, basically saying straight up, Ukraine and Georgia membership in NATO is a red line for Russia. It will start a war. It will cause a civil war in Ukraine because the population is split on NATO membership and EU membership. Russia told this to them. William Burns communicated this to the US National Security Council. There's no secret that this was going to happen. It was predicted by even right-wing foreign policy advocates within the US government. So the fact that people are acting like this came out of nowhere when it was like documented for literally 20 years is quite wild. The other thing, as Jen pointed out, is that there's a significant force of far-right fascists and neo-Nazis fighting Russia in this conflict that were deliberately and knowingly empowered and armed and funded by the US and by NATO powers. It's really important to understand that people refer to Ukraine in 2021 as a sovereign nation, but the reality situation is that in 2014, the US backed a right-wing fascist movement to depose the democratically elected president of Ukraine, Viktor Yanukovych. They knew who these people were. It was clear. And they still gave them arms and training and funding in order to seize power in the new Ukrainian state because these people were hostile to Russia. It didn't matter that they were Nazis. It didn't matter that they were fascists. It was just that they were willing to engage in war with Russia. That is why the US backed them.